You know, I was set today to make a video about Cliff Kingsbury and how I feel like he's overrated for the Chicago Bears job. But then I heard Ruthie Palenke today on 670 The Score talking about why she wouldn't want to come to the Chicago Bears as a head coaching candidate because of the division and how tough it is. And now I'm just like, oh no, I gotta address this. So roll the intro. Welcome back to Bears Yard. This your boy Vibe, and I cannot believe what Ruthie Palenke said today on 670 The Score. Now, before I go into this is not a shot at Ruthie. She is an amazing sportscaster, personality, and all that jazz. I just have a vehement disagreement with what she said today on the radio. So let's get into it. Roll the clip.
I wouldn't want to come here. You're about to go 0-6 against those three teams. Are you telling me you can win 3 of those games next year? With just because you have a new coach and hopefully a little bit better of an offensive line, but there's a lot of work to be done on the offensive line, defensive line, and not a lot of like great free agents. Offensive line, you can't use all your draft picks on the offensive line, but you potentially could have 4 new starters on the offensive line. And you're just going to tell me like, yep, good against the division, all good. Ben Johnson's here, whoop-de-doo. Like, I don't see it. You have the quarterback, right? I think no one is sitting here saying that the quarterback can't be great. But the quarterback needs a lot of work. It's going to be a brand new offense. He couldn't get this cadence down. Why is he going to have the next cadence down by week 18? Listen, I'm just saying. I think there's a lot of work to be done, and the Jacksonville job in that division with a quarterback, small market, not a lot of pressure. I mean, the microscope is on. You're the head coach of the Chicago Bears. All eyes on you, babe. Like, it is Bears.
So Ruthie would not come to the division as a head coaching candidate because she feels like the division is too tough. She thinks the Bears will go 0-6 again next year. She talks about the work that needs to be done in the trenches, how you'll have probably 4 new starters on the O-line. And she thinks that Caleb Williams, even though he's good, he still needs a lot of work, blah, 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 blah. And then she talks about the Jaguars. The Jaguars, how they have Trevor Lawrence, and they have an easier division and a small market, blah, blah, blah. Are you kidding me right now? You can't be serious. First off, I do not want any, and I mean any, head coaching candidate who has that mindset. I want a competitor. This whole time, we have been talking about a leader of men, an alpha type personality to come in here and change the culture of the Chicago Bears. And nobody is changing the culture with that type of weak-minded personality that Ruthie's talking about. Nobody worth their salt is looking at the division or looking at the job and thinking these things if they are an alpha type leader of men personality that we need in this city of Chicago. I want somebody that wants to come in here and take the North and compete with the big boys, with the Lions, the Vikings, the Packers. I want somebody that wants to come in here and cement their legacy. Let's get into it a little deeper about the Bears in particular, right? So, those games that the Bears lost this year, the first 3 division games, they lost them by a total of 7 points, you all. 7 points. In the first 3 division games versus the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings, the Bears were in every single game. They lost by a total of 7 points, which means at some point or another, the Bears had an opportunity to win every game in the division in the first 3 games. Now, the last 3, we won't talk about those, but the first 3, they were very competitive. So the Bears aren't as far away as Ruthie would lead you to believe because they were very competitive. Not to mention the Bears started off 4-2 this season before the Hail Mary attempt. So it's not like the team is that far away. You got skill players. You got the Adunzeys and the DJ Moores and Keenan Allen if he comes back. I don't know if he's going to come back. You got the quarterback in place, which is the most important thing. You got Caleb Williams on a rookie deal, and he is still the best quarterback that was drafted in the draft class. I don't care what anybody says. Caleb is the best, and he's only going to get better. If you actually get a decent offensive line in front of him, I think he's going to be even better next year. But to say that the Bears are going to be bottom dwellers again next year just because they were this year, no. The NFL is too fluid for that. Players get injured all the time and different things like that. Nobody expected the Vikings to be the team that they were this year, especially after the things that happened during the offseason. J.J. McCarthy tearing his ACL, whatever. Their rookie, unfortunately, passing away, different things like that. Nobody had expectation for the Vikings, and look where they are now. because the NFL is always fluid. You never know what's going on from one game to the next in the NFL. How many worst to first stories have we heard about in the NFL? I think most recently the Cincinnati Bengals placed in last place one year and then they were in the playoffs the next year. So it's not like you can't go from worst to first in the NFL. Did I mention that? Yes, while the Chicago Bears have weaknesses. Again, we have $82 million in cap space. We have premium draft picks. We have 3 picks in the first 2 rounds this year. So yes, we have weaknesses on the offensive line and defensive lines, of course. Not arguing that. But we also have an opportunity to strengthen those weaknesses in the draft and in free agency. And I know she said there's not many free agents, but someone will be out there that can help you make your team better. I mean, you can't get any worse than what we have on the team now, Ruthie. These dudes that we have on the line now aren't it. So clearly you can only get better from here. But again, I am not here to entertain any weak mindset from potential head coaching candidates. I'm not having it. If anybody, including Ben Johnson, feels like they can't compete in the division, don't come to Chicago. If you want to be forgotten about and not heard of or do your business without scrutiny, go to Jacksonville. If you win in Jacksonville, you'll just be a jag, just another guy. You win in Chicago, you become Mike Ditka, a god, a deity, a king amongst peasants. That's what you become in Chicago if you win as a head coach. You win in Jacksonville, you're nothing, you're nobody, you're forgotten about next year. So winning in Chicago means a lot more than winning in Jacksonville, okay? That's why the stakes are so much higher when you come to Chicago to win and play and coach, because this city loves its sports and the Bears run this town. So yes, there's going to be a hell of a lot more scrutiny on any head coach who coaches the Chicago Bears, and rightfully so, because we're the 3rd largest media market in the U.S., and this is the best sports town in the world, and the fans deserve the absolute best. We fans deserve the absolute best, and we will demand it from anybody that comes in here to be a head coach of the Chicago Bears, and we will not accept weaklings that have this type of mindset. But Bear fans, let me know, do you feel like Ruthie was on point or was onto something with her thoughts today on the score? Do you think I'm right that we need a alpha leader man who doesn't think like this? Drop a comment. Make sure you hit subscribe to the Yard for more opinionated Chicago Bears talk.